the color of beautiful, beautiful, wonderfully made, the color of beautiful, beautiful. God made me beautiful. God made me, yeah. I am so beautiful.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome. It is Wondrously Made Wednesday, and I'm so glad to be here today with I am the Color of Beautiful's public health advisor, who happens to also be my sister, Renee Moore. Welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
Yes, it is. We used to do colorism conversations, and so I asked her to come and join me for Wondrously Made Wednesdays. So we're going to do Wondrously Made Wednesdays together. Hopefully, she'll agree to do more of them with me. Wondrously Made Wednesday. And so Wondrously Made Wednesday is where we talk about the beauty of Black women in all of our shades. And we celebrate all of our shades, and particularly on Wondrously Made Wednesday. And the Color of Beautiful, I Am the Color of Beautiful global movement is about redefining the standard of beauty and helping dark skinned women overcome the hurt and trauma of colorism. And on Wondrously Made Wednesday, like I said, we celebrate all of our beautiful shades. And so today we're going to have a discussion about beauty and the spectrum of our beauty, all of these wonderful, amazing shades that we are able to, that God has really given us these beautiful shades that we can talk about and begin to celebrate all of our shades from the lightest of the light to the darkest of the dark. And so that's what our discussion is going to be about today. And so I just want to start off talking about understanding melanin and the beauty of melanin and how important our melanin really is. So I'm going to ask you, Renee, to go ahead and talk to us some about melanin and the importance of our melanin and how, we have all this different shades of melanin.
So basically, melanin is a excuse me. Melanin is produced in what's called melanocytes, right? Everybody has melanocytes. It's just a matter of how much melanin they produce that determines how dark or light you are. So basically, what happens is the melanocytes produce melanin, keratocytes carry it up to the dermis of the skin, and the more melanin is produced, the darker you are. So what happens is that a lot of it is a function, started out as a function of where we live, right? So melanin has the ability to protect us from the sun. So people who lived in sunny areas tended to have more melanin so they could have protection from the sun. And that is not only in Africa, that just transcends wherever you are in the world. There are various shades and tones in Africa. There are various shades and tone in Latin America. So it's various shades and tones in Asia. So a lot of it is a function of not only how much sun there is as far as where you are, but how much you work outside. Because if you spend more time in the sun, that brings up more melanin.
Right.
Okay. So the interesting thing is that, like I say, that can vary from country to country. There are varying shades of melanin in Africa, and it's all a function of where, uh, and it's basically carried down in your genetics.
Mhm.
There's apparently there's like 160, 169 different um, codes of melanin. So it's a genetic thing that, depending upon how that kind of works out for you as far as um, tracers and DNA, how much of that melanin you get.
Mhm.
And so that's why a lot of times you get different shades within a family, because it all depends on how that person's genetic makeup comes up, what kind of uh, uh, genes that they got, because there's 169 different genes that determine your melanin.
Right.
What type of genes you got determines how that melanin comes out.
Right. And so when we look at African American history and we look at how Africans were brought over here from Africa, I'm not going to say brought over, were kidnapped from Africa and brought here to the United States. And then we had the issue where they became property. And so slave masters decided that the women were property and that they could do whatever they wanted to do with the women and rape them, and then had children that began to have lighter shades because there was a mixture of the African genes and the white genes. And so for a lot of people here in the United States, the difference in our melanin has many times been because of what we look at as our ancestral line. And like you said about there being the different shades in families and how we've had to deal with a lot of that within our families, because I think many times because we are tapped into this narrative of what beauty is, that we don't want to see many times our darker skinned relatives as beautiful or valuable or worthy. And that's basically, and that's the very core of what colorism is. So understand, and I always say all the time that a lot of times a lot of this is just about some melanin.
It
And
is.
I'm not minimizing what colorism is or minimizing the hurt and things that have come from it, but it really is about melanin,
And an interesting thing about it is, even in Africa, there's varying shades. But a lot of some of that has been due to colonization.
right?
It's just been due to, you know, it may not, in a lot of instances now, it's just the free ability to intermarry with other people. But
Mhm.
I was reading an article, and the interesting thing it says is a person can carry a gene that confers a particular trait in one population and yet not obviously show evidence of that trait themselves. So, you know, all of us had, like I say, melanocytes. There's 169 genes or more that determine how that's going to show up in you. So, it really is about melanin, because we all carry all these different genes that could just show up in any different fashion.
Mhm.
And, you know, I'm sure I'm carrying some genes that have, more melanin, because there's three different types of melanin. And the ones that basically determine our skin tone are eumel- eumelanin and theomelanin.
Okay.
And so the more eumelanin you have, the dark you'll get the browns and the blacks.
Hmm.
So, I'm sure I'm carrying B melanin, but it's not just in the same, it didn't just show up the same as it may have shown up in you.
Right.
And there are white people carrying B melanin. It just doesn't show up the same in them.
Right. Right.
So what we determine white, how do you want to define that, or lighter skinned people that are carrying that. But it's
Right.
just really a matter of how it showed up, because we all have it.
Right. And so if we began to love and appreciate each other more for who we are as individuals,
Hmm.
and not about how much melanin is in our skin, we would find, I think, that we would have much better communication and relationships with one another and not have to deal with the issue of colorism and separation and the idea that it came from slavery in this country and wanting to constantly separate us and make us want to feel that one is better than the other instead of coming together and celebrating the beauty that is in all of us for however much melanin we have. And it's interesting because I remember, and you probably don't want me telling this story, but I'm going to tell it anyway. I remember when you were born, because I'm 3.5 years older than you, and I remember when you were born, and I asked mom why you were white, and I was black, and she very indignantly, I can still remember it to this day. She very indignantly said to me, "She is not white." Yeah, I was 3.5 years old. I was traumatized. She is not white.
Hello.
So it's like, but it's amazing how those things come about in our families and the way that we look at things. And I was reading another article the other day about how it's saying that 77% of the women in Nigeria skin bleach. And that comes from a lot of colonialism and colonization, and what is being projected and dictated, is what I say, dictated to them about what beauty is. And that beauty isn't that beautiful, deep, melanated skin that they have. They're being convinced that that's not what beauty is. And we're really about changing that narrative about what beauty is, and that we get to decide for ourselves what beauty is. And beauty is all of us in all of our shades.
Yes,
That's what beauty is.
definitely. And God created us, and so He doesn't make any mistakes. Everything He creates is beautiful. So who are we to say, "Oh God, you made a mistake by making me too light"? "Oh God, you made a mistake by making me too dark"?
Right.
You know. And if we would just learn, like you say, to appreciate each other for who we are,
Yes.
and just glory in the fact that we are. I was in a training and they were talking about diversity and inclusion, and they were talking about boxes of crayons. And they asked us, what we felt about a box of crayons, and people were saying, "Oh, each one is important." And it's just that way with people. Every one of us has something unique and different.
Yes.
But in order to create a complete and accurate picture of the world, we you need each and every one of them.
Right.
And to be able to appreciate that, the greens and the reds and the blues in the box is the same way we need to be able to appreciate the light and the dark and the in between
Yeah.
in each one of us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That is awesome. So, um, I want you all to remember that I Am the Color of Beautiful Day is coming up April the 6th. It is going to be virtual. And I Am the Color of Beautiful Day is the day where we celebrate all of us in all of our beautiful shades. And so we're going to be putting out information over the next few weeks about the virtual event for I Am the Color of Beautiful Day. And it's going to be, I want to tell stories, and I want to tell stories through storytelling and poetry, and just give people an opportunity to talk about their beauty and the beauty of black women and women of color. And also, it's not just for women. For men who want to express about the beauty of black women, you're welcome to come and be a part and give us a spoken word piece or poetry or a story or anything you'd like to share about the beauty of Black women and women of color. So we're going to be putting that information out for you. Always, please go to our website, thecolorofbeautiful.black. Color is spelled COLOUR because you are beautiful, COLOUR. So go to thecolorofbeautiful.black, visit our website, and keep in touch with us and be able to see all the amazing things that the Color of Beautiful is doing. We have some programs that are going to be launching in the next few months. And so stay tuned and keep up with us. Is there anything else you want to add?
Just follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and be and get inspiration every day.
Yes.
To celebrating the beauty of who you are.
Yes, yes. Renee does an amazing job with our social media on Facebook and Instagram. So follow us, The Color of Beautiful, on Instagram and Facebook. So we appreciate you, and we'll be back next week, leading up to I'm the Color of Beautiful Day. We're going to be doing these on Wednesdays. So just talking about the beauty of Black women and women of color in all of our amazing, amazing shades. So join us again. You'll look for a video again next week about the beauty that we possess in all of our shades. And you know how we do it. We say it loud. We wear it proud. I am the color of beautiful. Be blessed.